Have you ever looked up at the sky and wondered what marvels it once held? Our planet's history is filled with creatures of incredible scale and power. But, few can capture the imagination quite like the master of New Zealand's ancient skies. This was the realm of the Haast's eagle, or Harpagornis moray, the largest and most powerful eagle ever known to exist. It was not just a bird of prey, it was an apex predator that ruled its island home for hundreds of thousands of years, a true monarch of the air. Its story is a dramatic one, a tale of evolutionary brilliance and, ultimately, of a sudden and tragic disappearance from the world. We can only imagine the sight of it soaring above the lush forests of ancient New Zealand. This magnificent eagle appeared in the world sometime between 700,000 and 1.8 million years ago, carving out its dominion on the islands we now call New Zealand. To picture its sheer size, one must think beyond any bird we know today. The female Haast's eagle, which was noticeably larger and more formidable than the male, could weigh up to an astonishing 18 kilograms, or nearly 40 pounds. That is more than double the weight of the Steller's sea eagle, which is the heaviest eagle alive in our modern world. Its presence would have been utterly commanding, a dark shadow passing over the landscape, a silent and constant reminder that the skies belonged to it alone. The most staggering feature of this bird was not just its weight, but its sheer power, concentrated in its feet and talons. Imagine a modern-day tiger, with its large, powerful paws capable of delivering immense force. Astonishingly, the feet and talons of the Haast's eagle were of a comparable size. These were not merely for grasping, they were weapons, built to strike with the force of a concrete block dropped from an 8-story building. Its wingspan, while broad, was not as vast as one might expect for its body size, reaching up to 3 meters. This suggests it was a creature of the forest, built for explosive bursts of speed and agility through dense woodland rather than for soaring over open plains. To truly grasp its scale, let us compare it to something more familiar. An adult human stands tall, but a large female Haast's eagle perched on a low branch would have looked us directly in the eye. Its immense beak was a sharp, curving instrument designed for tearing flesh, and its gaze would have been one of piercing, predatory intelligence. Unlike the eagles of today, which often seem like distant specks in the sky, this giant was a grounded and immediate force of nature. It was an integral part of its ecosystem, a hunter whose very existence was tied to the equally remarkable creatures that walked the forest floor below. Its story is inseparable from that of its prey. The diet of the Haast's eagle is what truly sets it apart from any other predator of the air. This colossal bird did not hunt rabbits or fish. Instead, its primary food source was the moa, a group of enormous flightless birds that once roamed New Zealand in great numbers. The largest of these, the South Island giant moa, could stand over 3.5 meters tall and weigh a staggering 250 kilograms. This means that the Haast's eagle, a bird weighing no more than 18 kilograms itself, was regularly hunting and killing prey that was more than 10 times its own body weight. This is a feat of predation that has few parallels in the natural world. Such a hunt required an extraordinary strategy. The eagle was not simply a larger version of a modern falcon, it was a uniquely adapted killing machine. Recent scientific studies suggest it employed a fascinating 2-part hunting method. It would launch itself from a high perch, diving down upon an unsuspecting moa at speeds of up to 80 kilometers per hour. The initial strike would come from its enormous talons, which would slam into the moa's back or pelvis. The sheer force of this impact would have been enough to knock the giant bird off balance, cripple it, or even kill it outright from the shock and internal injuries alone. Once the moa was down and immobilized, the eagle's hunting technique would change. It would then use its powerful beak in a way that scientists have compared to a vulture. While eagles typically use their beaks to tear off small pieces of flesh, the Haast's eagle would drive its formidable beak deep into its prey's body cavity to swiftly access the vital organs. This allowed it to begin feeding immediately, consuming the most nutritious parts of the kill before scavengers could arrive. It was a brutal and highly effective method that allowed this relatively small predator to dominate some of the largest herbivores of its time, a true David and Goliath story played out in the ancient forests. The success of this incredible predator was a testament to evolution. For millennia, the eagle and the moa were locked in an evolutionary arms race. As the moa evolved to become larger and more robust, the eagle in turn evolved to become stronger and more lethal in its attack. This delicate balance created a stable ecosystem where the eagle, as the apex predator, played a crucial role in controlling the moa populations. It was a perfectly functioning world, sculpted by nature over countless generations. But this specialization, this perfect adaptation to a single source of food, would ultimately become the eagle's greatest vulnerability when a new and powerful force arrived on the islands. The memory of this terrifying bird did not vanish entirely with its extinction. It lives on, etched into the ancient oral traditions of the Maori people, the first human settlers of New Zealand. In Maori legend, there are stories of a monstrous man-eating bird known as the puakai or hokioi. These tales describe a huge black and white bird with a crest of red feathers and wings that made a sound like the roaring of the wind. The puakai was said to live in the high mountains and to descend upon the lowlands to seize its prey. It was a creature of immense fear, a symbol of nature's raw and untamable power, a monster that haunted the imagination. These legends were once thought to be simple myths, cautionary tales told to children. However, as our scientific understanding of the Haast's eagle has grown, it has become clear that the puakai was no mere fantasy. The descriptions from the legends match the physical reality of the Haast's eagle with uncanny accuracy. One harrowing account, recorded by a missionary named James West Stack in the 19th century, tells of the puakai swooping down to carry off men, women, and even children. Given the eagle's proven ability to kill a 250-kilogram moa, the idea that it might have viewed a human as potential prey is not just plausible, but terrifyingly likely. The stories served as a powerful reminder to the early Maori settlers of the dangers that lurked in this new land. Imagine arriving in a place of immense beauty, only to discover that the skies are patrolled by a predator capable of striking from above without warning. The legend of the puakai was a survival guide, a piece of ancestral knowledge passed down through generations. It taught people to be wary of open spaces and to respect the power of the wilderness. The fear was real because the threat was real. The eagle was not just an animal, it was a living monster from a world where humans were not yet the dominant force. This connection between legend and paleontology is a powerful one. It shows us that the stories our ancestors told often contained deep truths about the world they inhabited. The puakai legend is a cultural fossil, a preserved memory of a creature that the first people of New Zealand saw with their own eyes. It gives a voice to the bones we find in the earth, transforming a long-extinct animal into a living, breathing character in the human story. The Haast's eagle was not just a marvel of biology. It was a creature that shaped human culture and belief, leaving an indelible mark long after its final flight. The reign of the Haast's eagle, which had lasted for hundreds of thousands of years, came to a startlingly abrupt end. The eagle vanished from the earth approximately 500 to 600 years ago, a mere moment in geological time. Its extinction was not caused by a changing climate or a natural disaster, but by the arrival of a new predator on the island's humans. The Maori people, who arrived in New Zealand around the 13th century, were skilled and efficient hunters. They discovered that the large flightless moa were a plentiful and relatively easy source of food. And so the Great Moa Hunt began across the islands. This had a catastrophic effect on the ecosystem. The moa, which had evolved for millennia in a land without ground-based mammalian predators, were completely unprepared for human hunters. Within just a few centuries, all 9 species of moa were hunted to extinction. For the Haast's eagle, this was a death sentence. Its entire existence was built around hunting these giant birds. It was too large and too specialized to switch to smaller prey, like forest birds or rats. As its food source disappeared, the eagle was left with nothing. The Sky King was doomed to starve, its incredible power rendered useless. The story of the Haast's eagle is a profound and sobering lesson about the delicate interconnectedness of nature. Every species, from the smallest insect to the most powerful predator, plays a role in its ecosystem. The relationship between the eagle and the moa was a perfect example of this balance. When humans removed one crucial piece of this puzzle, the moa, the entire structure collapsed. The eagle's extinction was an indirect consequence of human activity, a chain reaction that began with the hunt for food and ended with the silencing of one of the most magnificent predators the world has ever known. Today, as we face a global biodiversity crisis, the tale of the Haast's eagle is more relevant than ever. It reminds us that our actions, even when they seem small or localized, can have far-reaching and irreversible consequences. We are the new apex predators on this planet, and with that power comes an immense responsibility. The empty skies of ancient New Zealand serve as a powerful warning. We must work to understand and protect the intricate web of life that sustains us all, to ensure that we do not unknowingly cause the silence of other magnificent voices in the grand chorus of nature.